Hey traders, I hope you did well today. We actually had really good volume in the market today. There were several good stocks, IGC, CRON, ATAI, RGSE is moving right now. We have some good stocks out there with good volume. It was a little tricky to trade, but the exciting thing is we have momentum coming back. So we got to be ready. Let's get excited because the fall is coming and we're going to see some hot momentum. Now today I want to go over a pattern, the head and shoulders pattern, and I traded this one on IGC pretty well. I actually did a live trade on this today, and I recorded everything for 2 hours, and then I found out the file was corrupted. I'm sorry, guys. Stay with me because I think you're going to learn a lot on this pattern because it's not just the pattern you look for. There's many other things you look at other than just the head and shoulders chart. Also, another good thing is it's 11:30, and we're still seeing some volume. I mean, that's great. Usually I'd post a video about right now, so we're getting there. It's getting exciting. Also, we've been open for 4 weeks now on YouTube. Now, some other YouTubers were saying 100 is the hardest to get to. So let's see where we're at on YouTube as far as subscribers go. We're at 99. If we hit 100, no, not 100 yet. Okay, so one of you guys got to subscribe, so we hit at 100. Now, 100 is not a lot, but I'm just excited because I'm able to teach you guys. I'm so excited for you guys to learn a lot because this channel is not about me, it's about you, and I'm excited for you to grow, to find consistency, and I really want to help you along the way because I didn't have anyone help me. And if you have any questions at all, please let me know. But now, let's get into the lesson, guys. I want to look up a few charts on the head and shoulders pattern so you guys are familiar with it in case you don't know. The head and shoulders, it forms a left shoulder, right shoulder, head, and neckline. These are all things you want to look for when it's forming. You want to start looking for the left shoulder, right shoulder. Now, everything doesn't have to be completely parallel and horizontal. It doesn't have to be beautiful just like this one here. Left shoulder, right shoulder, neckline, everything just perfectly parallel and horizontal. Because as we can see, if we look down here a little bit, I mean, look at this neckline here. It's not perfectly horizontal. The left shoulder, right shoulder aren't perfectly horizontal. On this pattern, we really just want to be looking for the trend line. See how this trend line, downward sloping confirmation line is what they call it. Now, if we pull up the chart on IGC today, we had kind of a trend line that was going upward, not even downward. So the line, how the line is formed isn't necessarily that important. You just want to be seeing the bounce off of it. Whether that's a downtrend or uptrend, that doesn't matter a whole lot as long as you spot the pattern because left shoulder, right shoulder, we're seeing some downward momentum as well there too. This one here, if we look at it, this one, the left shoulder and right shoulder is in an uptrend. So that doesn't matter, guys. Just find the trend line, find the shoulders and the head. That's what you want to be looking for. Now, this is called the reversal because on a bullish head and shoulders, we're going to be seeing the crack of the trend line. It's going to go bearish and red on the day. The inverse head and shoulders is practically the opposite of this. It's just this chart flipped on its head. You go red on the day, and then it forms its head and shoulders, and then breaks up through the neckline going green on the day. It's the complete opposite of this. Now, there's different indicators you want to look at. When you spot the head and shoulders, you don't want to just look at, okay, left shoulder, right shoulder, head, neckline. There's other things you want to be looking at, other variables that make this chart beautiful, and I want to show you that on IGC. Now, this I actually traded live, and I recorded, like I said, but the file ended up being corrupted. It was a pretty good trade, too. I was short on it, going down to this trend line here. The open of the day is 111, and that becomes a key support and resistance area because it's the open. Now, the previous close is a detailed resistance or support area as well. Over here on the level 2, PCL means previous close. It's at 71 cents. So we're gapping up quite a bit, well off of that. That's not really going to play into effect today unless the stock crashed towards 71 cents. Then you could play that as support. But you want to draw your trend lines. You want to know where's support, where's resistance, what's the high a day, what's the low a day. These are all key resistance and support areas that are also going to be taken into account on the head and shoulders pattern. I'm going to talk you through everything that was going through my mind. And here's one thing as well. We see here at 120, we formed a high, and then a lower high, another lower high. We're squeezing down close to that VWAP, the trend line, and it's like dropping a basketball, and then the basketball just slowly makes a few more bounces, but it's getting slower and slower and lower and lower. And what you want to see is that, okay, this is getting tighter towards that trend line, towards the VWAP, towards the open of the day, and then you want to see volume. See this volume here? We fade it off, and then we see a surge in volume, 350 to 400,000 shares to make this crack. So the key levels you want to be looking at is, okay, we got 111 as the open of the day. And so if you were to go short around here, your stop would probably be back above the open, because when the stock is above the open, it's considered bullish, it's green on the day. Another thing I want you guys to pay attention to is the daily chart. The daily chart on this around 110 was the open. The daily chart then forms a doji star. And a doji star is a sign of a trend reversal. And look at the previous few days. The stock has gone from 36 cents all the way up to 125. And so when you're seeing a trend reversal, a doji star on the daily, that's a sign that, okay, we're probably going to see some bears as well. So the stars were lining up for me to take this short on this. Now, granted, it was a very small short. I did not only made a little over $100 on this short. I've been trading small because my consistency hasn't been that well during these summer months. But the pattern I spotted was really perfect, and I think you guys can size into it as much as you want to be profitable on this. It's a great trade. It's a great pattern to be looking at. What you want to be looking for is bounce off the trend line, but slower bounces, and you want to see volume just fading off down here. You want to see it getting close and close to different support lines. So the trend line, the VWAP, those were lining up perfect. It was right below the open of the day, and then we start seeing huge volume come through to crack this. And that's what you want to be paying attention to on your level 2 and times and sales. So on the level 2, we were seeing the ask side. It was starting to get closer and closer to 108, then 107, then 106, and we were seeing sell orders fly through on the times and sales right around this key support area. And so at that point, we know, okay, we're going to crack it. Now, the VWAP is a good indicator as well to be using on this, because the VWAP is volume weighted average price, and what it does is it serves as basically an average price that the stock should be trading at during the day. It takes what the price is as well as the price action and the volume traded, and combines all that into form the average that it thinks the stock should be trading at. And when the stock gets too far away from it, like 124, then it comes back down to it. Gets above it, comes back down to it. Gets above it, it comes back down to it. Now we're below it, and that's why I covered down here at $1, because $1 in itself is a nice support area. But not only that, it got a little bit away from the VWAP, and so we know, okay, this is probably going to travel back up towards that average price. And that's a good indicator to use as well for the break of the support, the break of the neckline, because breaking that as well is very bearish. And we're still bearish on the day, because remember the open was 110. These are all different indicators that you guys should focus on when the Head and Shoulders is in play. Not just look at the pattern, the neckline. There's different indicators you need to use. You need to look at the daily chart. Okay, we saw the doji star on that. We saw the bounce of the trend line, where the open was, the VWAP, all the volume coming in to break down through that support level. All the stars will line up, and if you guys are feeling overwhelmed by this information, don't be discouraged, because it'll just take time. You guys will get it over time. I'm a slow learner, and I picked up on it over like 2 years, and it took me a long time. You guys will be completely fine. Just stick with it. Don't be discouraged or overwhelmed by it. If you have any questions at all, feel free to just message me in the comments section, and I definitely will help you. Thank you guys so much for watching and subscribing to the channel. I really hope you learned something today. I think it was a valuable lesson on the Head and Shoulders pattern. If there's anything you don't get or understand at all, feel free to comment me. I'd be very happy to help you. We'll see you tomorrow.